Welcome to the video where we teach the history and philosophy of science along with science and mathematics. This is the classical and Montessori approach to mathematics and science with Amos the Math Guy. I look forward to taking you through a journey from the beginning of astronomy and studies in science all the way to the modern times that we live in. This is a series for classical schools and any homeschool families or private schools or public schools that want to explore science in a unique way in the context to which a lot of these inventions and discoveries happened. My name is Amos the Math Guy, and I look forward to taking you through this journey. Enjoy the video. Welcome back to our lecture, where we'll be looking at science and math from a classical perspective. I've made a separate video where I gave the basis for why we need to do this, and now we're going to begin our lecture series. Our curriculum is divided into 6 years. You could take it over 6 years, starting from 7th grade to 12th grade. It lines up really nicely with the Veritas curriculum for their history curriculum, Omnibus. But what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to basically explain this is level 1, level 2, level 3, primary, and then level 1, level 2, level 3, secondary. In today's lesson, I'm actually going into the third module of our historical study, which is from 1524 to 2024. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be looking at the primary and the secondary three in our focus point today. So we are looking at 1524 to 2024. Why is 1524 an important time in history? Well, what happened was in about 1450, a man by the name of Johannes Gutenberg had given us the mechanism for the printing press. So the printing press comes in Mainz, Germany in the 1450s. Gutenberg, unfortunately, didn't live to reap the great rewards of his invention. However, the work that he did gave us the opportunity to take like the Bible and make it available in production for more people to read much more quickly. So in the 1450s, this has come about, right? So remember Abraham to about 100 AD, there's inventions and things that we'll talk about in the course 1. But then there's the Middle Ages now. We're coming out of the Middle Ages. It's about 1450. Gutenberg has come along. He's given us the printing press. Now you turn into the 1500s and the Reformation is taking place with Martin Luther's work. About 1517, we have his work happening in Wittenberg with the 95 Theses. So we have the printing press. Think of it like this thing that is giving us an opportunity for expanding knowledge, right? And then we have the Reformation. Why is the Reformation important in this discussion that we're talking about? It's important because now Luther is trying to make it so that more people have availability of reading, like the opportunity to read the scriptures in a language that they can understand. So there's more people that are thinking. Knowledge is being dispersed more in terms of the Bible. Why is the Bible important in this discussion? If you read the Bible, you will notice that the world goes beyond just your little village in Germany, for example, where you might be living. You will realize that there's the heavens that are vast and they're just vast. There's the story of creation. There's the story of a world that has been made with a purpose in mind. There's something going on when you read the Bible. The Bible gives us a clear explanation of the why. Why is there a world? Well, because God chose to create the heavens and the earth. So the printing press comes. Then we get the Reformation, which gives us an opportunity for more people to get into the Bible. But then something else happens that is pretty important, which brings us to a man by the name of Nicholas Copernicus. Nicholas Copernicus was a Polish astronomer who had done work now and wrote a book to show that the earth was not the center of the solar system, but the sun was. See, the Greeks had given us a view. There's a certain view that was held by the Greeks. And I'm not going to get into the details of the Greeks today with Aristotle and Ptolemy. And we can't really bash the Greeks or people that came before and say that, come on, you should have known better. We also have to understand the context in which they were living in, okay? But the Greeks were wrong on this particular issue. Copernicus was right, but the climate in which he was in, it wasn't so easy for him to just say, I'm going to just say that I believe this thing and publish my book and move on easily. No. So even though he had done some of this work earlier on in the 1500s, close to 1524 actually, his book doesn't come out till about 1550. So we have, remember, 1450, we have the printing press. 1517, we have the Reformation. And then 1550, we have the Copernican Revolution. And Copernicus, after him comes a man by the name of Galileo and then Kepler. Guess what? These guys are going to carry on something here. But notice there's momentum at this point. There's a lot of momentum for the ability for knowledge to spread. And this, I believe, is part of why the scientific revolution took place when it did. I bring this up because when you look at the history of man, you notice that we have progress at some state. But when you get to the 1500s, it seems like the 15, 16, and 1700s, we see a spike. Like there's great advancement that happens. And part of that great advancement goes back to the work of Copernicus and the stage that has been set by the Reformation and also the stage that has been set by the printing press. I believe that these are all connected, and we can talk about this in further detail. I have a presentation I did at the Midwest Creation Fellowship, which you can watch on their website, or I can send you the link if you email me at amosthemathguy@gmail.com. But we see a great expansion that happens of knowledge and the scientific revolution that is happening. So Copernicus, Galileo, and Kepler are very important in the conversation. And so what we're going to do in this first module of our course is we're going to look at science, life and science, before Isaac Newton. And then we're going to look at science with Isaac Newton. I have a podcast episode talking about Isaac Newton that I recorded this last summer, 2024. This book, Journey Through Genius, tells the story of Newton very well, and you can read more about him. He went to Cambridge in 1661. He was born in 1642, the year Galileo died. But we're not talking about Newton today, though. Today's lesson is about life before Newton's world. So from 1540 to 1640, this is the first chapter in the book, The World of Isaac Newton. But before we talk about Isaac Newton, we go to 1540. Who were the scientists during this time? And by the way, our approach is a classical and Montessori approach. And so we want to give students the opportunity to do a deeper dive into the things that they're passionate about and excited about. And so maybe as they're watching this lecture, they think, oh, I really love Galileo. Like, Galileo did a great job. Well, guess what? There's these booklets that you can buy on different scientists. And there's a Museum of the History of Science, Oxford. They have a booklet, the Director's Guide that I got. There's books on scientists, little booklets on scientists. There's Journey Through Genius that will tell you some stories. But the point is, in our course, if at any time you find that you are really drawn to a concept or a person and you want to go deeper, let us know and we'll give you opportunities to invest time studying those people that you love. For me personally, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag at this point. My favorite people, I'm not even hiding it anymore, are right here. Gauss is not one of them, but Euler, Faraday, Maxwell. Euler, Faraday, Maxwell. Those are my favorite people. And I want to be, one of my little things in my resume is I want to be a biographer. You know how they say Newton biographer? I want him to say he's a Maxwell biographer, a Faraday biographer, and an Euler biographer. These guys were pretty cool. Let me not get excited and get ahead of myself. But these guys were really cool. Euler comes in 1707. Faraday comes in 1791. Maxwell comes in 1831. We're not talking about them yet. We're still in the 1500s. So what is going on in the 1500s? The century before Isaac Newton's birth in 1642 was a dramatic one. In the 1540s, England had a reformation, right? England's reformation changed the religious life of the community beyond recognition. Henry VIII is a key character. He's the one who actually started Trinity College, Cambridge University. Well, actually, you could argue Edward did before, but we say Henry VIII. You see him right when you go to the Trinity College. I'll put up some videos, some pictures showing this. But if you look at Trinity College, right at the entrance where you get a tour of the college, that's where you see it. And so Henry VIII had broken the kingdom's allegiance to the Church of Rome, severing the last vestige of the Catholic papal authority from the new Protestant Church of England in 1536. Yet the break was just the beginning. The real Reformation required new ideas to be shared and discussed, changes made to church liturgy, ceremony, and worship. So before we even get into the science of Newton's days and 1540 to 1640, we have to just lay the groundwork of the historical context. And that's what we're going to do further. You can go back and watch now from the Veritas Press lecture from you can see what the Westminster Confession of Faith, and that comes in 1600, but look at that time frame. So we're going to do some historical dive, and we'll come back and talk about Galileo, Copernicus in the second part of the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching that video. We will continue this journey as we explore the lives of famous scientists that have changed the world. And I hope that you will also explore ways that you can make things better for others, serving with the gifts that God has given you. Thanks for watching. And thanks for joining us in this quest of raising the next generation of scientists, mathematicians, and thinkers who also know the history and philosophy of science, logic, and theology. Take care and God bless.